Well, hello, boys and girls. It's when I feel like it o'clock. I'm Pearl of Wisdom, and you're listening to my NHL Pearls of Wisdom. Coming to you live from Helen's place. Helen's a little lady that lets me use her facilities, as my facilities are a little bit cramped. They've become less so, though, because some people have left. The reason why they're cramped is I was an addict. I had to downsize like crazy, just this far from the street. So it made it very difficult to be in that area. But making some money on Patreon now, and I'd love for you to go over there and check it out. I'll leave the link down there. I would imagine if you would like to help out in this time of no hockey, Patreon is for betting, and that's what this is normally about. But it's not there. So what we're doing is we're having fun anyways. We're continuing on, and we're doing future projections for each team. I did Vancouver, I did Toronto, Winnipeg, Florida, and we're going to stay in the same state and go into Tampa Bay now. We had a letter from German Lausten from Finland, and they like the Tampa Bay. So German wrote a fine letter about thank you for continuing on doing videos and such, and would you be able to do the Tampa Bay Lightning? And I can, sir. I'm going to be doing all of the teams, but since you wrote, we still get the letters even though there's the corona going on. People send the letters, and Guido goes down in this nice little vacuum-packed suit that we give him, and he brings up the letters and he pours them on the letter table, and we all do the Perlo dance, and we read them, and sometimes we put them on the videos. We being Helen, Hernandez, and Melissa. And Hernandez and Melissa, if you subscribe to this channel, they'll helicopter you over on my NHL Pearls of Wisdom necklace, signed by me. So I highly recommend you do that. Be careful. Put some gloves on when you're liking, and because we don't want to get the corona. So, but if you like it. Sends out the algorithm to the YouTube. Gord is still working there at the YouTube. He's still running it, and he says that if we keep on getting that, we're gonna get more people watching, and it's gonna be much frolic. When this corona's all over. The intention is still that I will be going to each team's arena, and I'll be taking people to games, and the frolic will be endless. Endless frolic. It already is endless, but we're going to live in the endless frolic in each game. It's going to be so fun. I can't wait. It's going to be great. Anyways, I love y'all, and I hope you're staying safe, getting yourself all wrapped up so you don't get the corona. Okay, let's get into the Tampa Bay, shall we? Oh, should I send pearls? I think I should. Helen's been kind of bored. Hasn't been pearls to send, but I got pearls here for German. We're going to send them all the way to Finland. So here we go. There you go, German Laustinen. Not even the corona can stop them. They have corona what's it called, deflectors, and the corona just bounces off of them. Look at them going good. It's nice there in the Finland. I like it. Okay, tell me where they land there in the comment section, German, and everybody comment. I haven't had any comments lately. I'm really disappointed. Really disappointed, because if we can't connect in person, we can connect in the comment section. Connect with our divines. I don't have my Namaste cup, but Namaste anyways. Okay. Tampa Bay Lightning. Well, the Tampa Bay Lightning have a fantastic team, but with the fantastic team in the Cap world, things can get a little bit, what are we going to do? And there's some what are we going to do here in Tampa Bay. So we're going to get into it. They got Nikita Kucherov signed for $9.5 million for eternity, and that's actually a good contract. for a guy who can put 100 points now. You got Panarin making 11.5. Hall's probably going to be making that, or maybe a little less. And he's better than at least Hall and probably on par with Panarin or close to it. Stamkos, $8.5 million for the next 5 years. That's not a bad contract if he could stay healthy. Problem is, Stammy's having injuries here. That's right, I forgot about that. Over here, I got the Stamkos no longer injured anymore pearls. And I know you're watching, Stammer, because why wouldn't you? So message me. I haven't heard from you for a while. But there's some pearls for you if you're getting dry. Braden Point, 6.7 for the next 3 years. They signed him in basically signed him so he'll be a free agent at the end of that. So that'll be a fun contract, depending on what kind of numbers he puts up here. Right now, it's a decent contract. They had to do a short-term contract because, the cap. Here's where their issues are. They have 4 players. Andre Palat, Yanni Gord, Tyler Johnson, and Alex Killorn. All 4 of those players are in the same bracket, and they're all making right around $5 million a year. Problem is, they all have NTCs, no trade clauses. Out of these, the contract that I'm not too sure about is Yanni Gord. They're playing him in the 3rd and 4th lines now. He's not putting up the production they was looking like he was going to when they signed it, but that might be his playing time. I think ultimately they would like to trade one of these guys. They brought in Blake Coleman, who's next at 1.8, fantastic contract for 2 more years. They also brought in Barclay Goodrow for a hefty first-round pick, and I don't think they brought them in for him in. Excuse me, to play bottom line minutes. Barclay Goodrow has, over his career, shown signs that he can be a good offensive player. Certainly put up Yanni Gord kind of numbers, and maybe even Tyler Johnson. It leads me to believe they have a little inside that maybe they could convince these at least one of these NTC guys to say, hey, you know what, it's been fun. And but we gotta do something with the cap here. I don't know how they would convince them, but out of them, I think the likely candidate would probably be Andre Palat. Now, if it were me on the ice anyways, it'd be Tyler Johnson. Tyler Johnson is a solid 2-way player, but his game seems to me the most replaceable, either that or Andre Palat. One of those two, if they could find a way. The thing is with Tyler Johnson is, from what I understand, his room presence is insane. His intangibles are incredible. They actually fear that it would seem to be afraid that it would take too much out of the room to trade him. So I'm leaning Andre Palat. Another good thing about Andre Palat is being a European. And let me just check here. I didn't take a look while I was doing this. He is from the Czech Republic. So quite often they like to play with other players from their country and stuff like that. And there could be some teams out there that have a high Czech population. And I think like Montreal might be one. I'd have to go through them, and that would take work. I got naps to get in. But he may be the most likely person they'd be able to do it. As it stands right now, and I was going to mention this off the top, they have $7.5 to $8 million in cap space for next year. Cedric Paquette, there's a guy that likely they could get some decent money on the market. I'd like, a 3rd or 4th round pick and get that $1.6 million off the books. Not that Cedric Paquette is a bad player, he's not. But they brought in Blake Coleman, who makes about the same amount of money. He could definitely fill that spot. Another thing that's great about all 4 of those players, by the way, at least Gord, Tyler Johnson, and Andre Palat play multiple positions. Also, Blake Coleman, and they like to have these guys that they can mix and match, plays multiple positions. Cedric Paquette can play left wing, but he's best at a center. And I have a feeling they could get maybe even a second for him. He's a young guy. He's not making that much. And I have a feeling that will go. So if that's the case, we're at close to $10 million. Patrick Maroon, a great room guy. He came in on the cheap at $900,000 last year, and unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be able to re-sign him. I think he'll likely be gone. So now we're over at over $10 million if we don't sign Patrick Maroon. Mitchell Stevens, he's a restricted free agent. They can probably sign him up on a two-way contract because he didn't really solidify his position on the team last year, and that's probably what they'll do. Anthony Cirelli and Carter Verhaeghe. Carter Verhaeghe will maybe a two-way contract. He could push and say, look, I want to play full-time, and they'd have to give him minimum because he's 24 years old. He certainly seemed to solidify his position last year. The problem is Anthony Cirelli. Anthony Cirelli, okay, they have, he doesn't really have all that much leverage. He put up one good year. I think you're going to have to sign him, though, to 2.5 at least. If you can get him for 2.5 for 2 years or something like that, that would be fantastic, but it would bring us down to $8 million again. And now we're going to see where the problem lies here with that. By the way, Anthony Cirelli, if I'm his agent, I'm wanting more than that. He's been playing second line minutes. Actually, in a perfect world with lots of cap space, would be a great guy to sign up for $4 or $5 million for a long-term contract, and it would probably look good at the end of it all. But here's the issue. Yeah, Victor Hedman and McDonough, Victor Hedman's on a freaking awesome contract. 7.8 for the next 6 years. Norris Trophy defenseman, and he's only making 7.8. Like, the guys now are going to be signing for 10, 11 million with this type of talent. Easy. So they're getting great value out of Victor Hedman. Ryan McDonough, 6.7 is all the money right now because he's injured too much. He's also seems to be on the downside quite a bit already at 30. That one could come back to haunt him a little bit, but he's a solid defenseman, and I'd love to have him on my team, which is the Edmonton Oilers. So Braden Coburn, I think he's a buyout guy. Maybe he was injured a lot this year. Maybe they can convince him to go on the IR and basically retire. But I have a feeling they're going to have to push it and put him on a buyout. On a buyout, they might save $1 million. So we're around $9 million now. Bogosian, they won't be able to re-sign. And this is why. And that'll save them another 1.3. So we're back to that 10 million thing. But we have Mikhail Sergechev and Eric Chernak as restricted free agents this year. And I think I got the corona. I might have one more of those in me here yet. Okay. Hopefully not. If I die, call somebody, okay? So 10 million for to sign up both of them. You just might be able to do it. Now, you know what? Going through this, I didn't think they had that kind of. That's assuming you can get Anthony Cirelli at 2.5. I have a feeling their agent is gonna push them quite a bit. And there's the problem. Yeah, this is where the problem was. Now you have 10 million for Mikhail Sergechev and Eric Chernak. What if somebody offers Sheets Sergechev at $10 million a year? And that is not a bad. It's not It's not what's the word? It's not out of the realm of possibility, is what I'm trying to say. Or $9 million a year, or something like that. You get the draft picks back. I think you got to sign him. I mean, he's just an amazing defenseman. Oh yeah, you also have Kevin Shattenkirk, who is a UFA next year. If you do this, you're going to have to let Shattenkirk go. Problem is, They have to fill in that roster now with somebody else. I doubt Shattenkirk's going to come in at 1.7 like he was last year. He had a great year. He set himself up for a nice contract. He's only 31. Somebody will likely be willing to give him $4 to $5 million a year. Unfortunately, I think they're just going to have no choice but to let him go. So you got Hedman, you got McDonough, you got to let Shattenkirk go. You got to let Bogosian go. Luke Shen, do you let him go? You probably sign him again for $700,000 maybe. And Sergechev's got to get 7. He's got it. They could do it on a, maybe build him up or something like that. But if somebody tries to offer sheet Sergachev and it's a red glowing offer sheet right there. I'm sure there's going to be a team out there that's going to push the envelope on Sergachev. In which case, you would have to trade Eric Chernak or sign him for a very reasonable contract, like 2.5. Now, Chernak doesn't have much. 2.5 million for a guy who's been playing top 4 money. It's going to be difficult. Or you sign Sergachev up for the $7 million and Eric Chernak gets an offer sheet, or you have to trade him away. In which case, then you're filling out your roster. This is the biggest problem, is they really don't have much as far as, you can bring Witkowski up, but I mean, he's there for muscle, not the guy you want to be giving much more than 7 or 8 minutes to a night. Cal Foote had a decent season in the AHL. He was a first-round pick, 14th overall in 2017. His numbers are not great. He's only putting up about maybe half a point a game in the AHL. So they could think he's ready, though. They could think that he's ready to play a defensive spot. I remember when he was drafted, nobody was ever considering him a highly offensive defenseman anyways. So you can put him in there. I'm screwing up here. You bring him up at 21 years old. You're not going to be able to play him a lot of minutes either. So you've got Victor Hedman, McDonough, Sergachev, and possibly Chernak, and you got to fill out the rest of the roster with virtually no money whatsoever. That is the problem. That's why I think they're going to convince one of these guys with no trade clauses to forego their no trade clause. Either that or buy them out. They have buyout possibilities here. I think they'll have to buy out one of these guys with NTCs. And the one that I would think would be most likely would be Andre Palat for 3 years at 5.3. That may likely be it. That can save you about $4 million, and you can fill out the roster, sign Chernak and Shattenkirk, and possibly you have Jan Ruda, who made $1.3 million. You can probably sign him for $1 million. There's your 5th. Foote is in your 6th, 7, and bring up Witkowski again as your 7th defenseman. But I like that depth if injuries happen. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to play things as they go, as far as injuries go, and try to fill out your roster throughout the year with draft picks and such to be able to make a go of it. Now, best case scenario is you can convince Andre Palat that, because I said, we're going to buy you out, which he loses a lot in his contract for that. Or you can allow us to trade you, and we'll give you, since you have an NTC, we'll work with you to get you in a spot that you would like. You probably would not get huge for him. You'd be very happy if you could get a second-round pick in those conditions, because you wouldn't have that much leverage. By the way, JT Miller for a first and a second last year, way to go. That's fantastic. And yes, JT Miller has done well in Vancouver. He looks like he was worth the first and second, but they really didn't have all that much leverage. I think that's what's going to happen. Andre Plot will go in there. If you get rid of that contract, that $5 million, now you can sign Sergechev. You can probably sign Chernak and maybe even bring back Bogosian, and your defense is looking much better. Well, that's my full 42%, boys and girls. That's all I have to give. I guess I could also say, I think with all of this being said, they just have still an incredibly solid team next year. Maybe, just maybe, they can convince Alex Killorn as well to do something like that and trade it. Then they're laughing because they can put Barclay Goodrow up there. He's like a poor man's Killorn anyways, and they brought in Coleman. He can play up in that spot, and then you can really fill out that defense. You don't have to worry about an offer sheet for Sergechev, and I have a feeling in my thing that's the direction I do believe they are going to be going. So now this is for sure my full 42%. Hit the subscribe and the bell. And put down in the comment section what other teams you'd like. Also, if you would like to do a split screen Skype for this sort of thing, I would love to do it with you. So tell me in the comment section if you're interested in something like that. This weekend, I'll be doing a split screen Skype with Best Bet Ed. If you don't know who he is, go check him out. He's a capper as well, and he's itching to do something. I think we're gonna do the New York Rangers together. Have a great day. Lots of love to you.